Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Myself cajoshikumar. In this video we are going to cover residential status, very important. Along with concepts we are also going to cover the questions, so watch this video till the end. So first we will start with special provisions. Special provisions, there are two special provisions which are little confusing and tricky, so we will start with them only and we will also do the questions. Okay, first and foremost, if you see, the first one is applicable for Indian citizens or a person of Indian origin. Who are persons of Indian origin? Parents or grandparents who are born in undivided India, then they are treated as persons of Indian origin. All the people in Pakistan and Bangladesh are treated as persons of Indian origin. Okay, who has come to visit India and having Indian income which exceeds 15 lakhs. Okay, he will be treated as RNOR if this condition is satisfied. What is the condition? If he stays in India for 120 days or more in the previous year and 365 days or more in the 4 preceding previous years. Clear? If this condition is satisfied, he will be treated as RNOR. Who? Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. First one, he should have income in India which exceeds 15 lakhs. Second point, and then 120 days or more in the previous year and 365 days or more in the 4 preceding previous years. He will be treated as RNOR. First special provision. Second one says it is applicable for Indian citizen having Indian income which exceeds 15 lakhs shall be treated as deemed RNOR if he is not liable to pay tax in any other country. Clear till here? Now the common points between these two is this is also applicable for Indian citizen. This is also applicable for Indian citizen. Person of Indian origin, only first provision. Okay. And यहाँ पे भी if it exceeds 15 lakhs, यहाँ पे भी income should exceed 15 lakhs. Indian income should exceed 15 lakhs. यहाँ पे भी he'll become RNOR. यहाँ पे भी he'll become RNOR. Okay. And then the condition, obviously conditions are different. Okay. Understood till here? Now let's do the question. यहाँ पे देखो, Mr. John, Australian citizen, has income in India which exceeds 15 lakhs. ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्लियरली बोल रहा है कि exceeds 15 lakhs. Two conditions satisfying. He is liable to pay tax in Australia. See, this fellow should not be liable to pay tax in any other country to satisfy the second provision. So for him, second provision is not applicable. He has come to India for the first time on 27 and left to China on 10. Number of days is 106. Okay, he came to India on 15th February and left on 27. Number of days is 13. Total number of days he stayed is 119. So if you see the first condition, no, he should have stayed in India for more than 120 days. 120 days or more. So he stayed in India for 119 days. So he came to India for the first time. If you see here, John has come to India for the first time. So previous 365 days, even that also he did not satisfy. This condition also not satisfied. Okay, so he becomes non-resident. Clear? यहाँ पे और एक catch है that you need to understand. Mr. John is an Australian citizen. These two special provisions are applicable for Indian citizens only or a person of Indian origin. Okay, so this kind of stuff will be given to you in exams. This is an exam question. It will be given to confuse you. In the first place itself, he is an Australian citizen. तो ये दो provisions applicable नहीं होते. तो जब आप पूरा number of days calculate करोगे 119 days, you should compare it with the basic condition. That is your basic conditions को जाएंगे. So if you see the basic conditions, no, the first basic condition says at least 182 days. He is there in India for 119 days. So this is not satisfied. Second one, it says at least 60 days. Yeah, he is there for 119 days. Okay, this one is satisfied. Is he there for 365 days or more in the preceding 4 years? The answer is no. So two conditions are not satisfied. So he becomes non-resident. Understood? So don't confuse yourself. And I'm stressing again, first in the question you have to see whether he is an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. Okay, so these two are applicable for Indian citizens and first one is applicable for person of Indian origin only. Let's see another question. This is a little tricky. And first, this question is asked in September 25 exams and this one is asked in RTP Jan 26. Mr. Amit Verma is a person of Indian origin. देखो, person of Indian origin बोलते ही तुम्हारा ये eliminate हो गया. Second special provision is eliminated. You have to think about the first one only. चलो, he resides in Dubai, ठीक है. However, in order to expand the consultancy profession, he keeps visiting India frequently. He visits India 90 days, 65, 70 and 80 days in the preceding 4 years. ठीक है, total number of days have come to 305 days. Okay, during the last 4 financial years, preceding financial. During the financial year 20, he stayed in India for 135 days. Okay, he stayed in India for 135 days. If you see the first condition, no, requirement is only 120 days, but he stayed for 135 days. Okay, so this condition is satisfied. And he should also stay for 365 days or more in the preceding 4 financial years. How many days he stayed? 305 days. So that condition is not satisfied. So ये तो गया. Okay, let's see what he has given more. So his Indian income, if you see he has earned 9 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, 18 lakhs from rentals. His total income is more than 15 lakhs. उतना तो समझ में आ रहा है. तो if you see his total income exceeds 15 lakhs, he is a person of Indian origin and he stays in India for more than 120 days, 135 days, but he does not satisfy this condition. So this condition is not applicable. So he is not satisfying the special provision ka condition. That is how you need to answer what is the residential status. He becomes non-resident. Now if you compare this with the basic provisions now, so even in basic provisions he is required to stay for 365 days or more. That condition is not satisfied. So gaya kaam se. Clear? Once you do for yourself that question, you will understand. Now residential status of a company. This is also important. See, agar Indian company hai, hamesha resident. If it's a foreign company, you have to see POM, place of effective management. If place of effective management is in India, then resident. Place of effective management outside India, then non-resident. How do you see place of effective management? Simple. You have to see where the meetings are held. For commercial decision making, management and commercial decisions, where they are being held and who is conducting those meetings. So from that you will decide whether they are happening in India or outside India. Okay, determine the place where decisions are made. Such place will be POF. This question is also important. See, during the financial year, its shareholders met in India 3 times. India mein they have met 3 times. Okay, first 2 meetings were held to discuss the modification of rights attached to various class of shares, and the third meeting was held to discuss the sale of companies' assets situated in India. To sell the assets, they are meeting for the third time. Okay, the meetings of board of directors are held in Chicago and USA. Chicago में भी हुआ, Chicago and USA, where management and commercial decisions, okay, management and commercial necessary for conduct of business are taken. Understood? So in Chicago, they are making commercial decisions, management and commercial decisions. If you see the formula, you should identify the person who makes key management and commercial decisions. Determine the place where those decisions are taken. That is in Chicago. Such place shall be POI. Now if you see the answer, no, वो लोग बोलते कि that is in Chicago in USA, where management and commercial decisions necessary for conduct of the company's business are taken. That is the place of effective management. तो जो भी इंडिया में मीटिंग्स हुए ना मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ राइट्स के लिए या सेल ऑफ कंपनीज एसेट्स, दैट इज़ नॉट रिलेवेंट. Okay, you should see where the meetings are held for management and commercial decisions are taken. Okay, now here in this case the meetings are held in Chicago, so that becomes POEM is in Chicago, that is outside of India. ABOI test, this is also very important. So there are 4 things that you need to consider. ABOI is active business outside India. Okay, so passive income is not more than 50% of total income. Okay, first point, less than total assets are situated in India. Less than 50% of total assets are situated in India. Less than 50% of total employees are residing in India. Payroll expenses incurred on Indian employees, less than 50% of that payroll expenses. Okay, first point only I'll be explaining. Passive income मतलब जो भी तुम्हारा interest, dividend, royalty, capital gains, all these secondary activities, you know, you're getting income from secondary activities, no, not your primary business objective. From the secondary activities, whatever income that you're generating, that becomes your passive income. And the second one is any business that you're doing with your associate enterprises, purchases and sales, both from or to your associate enterprise, that becomes your passive income. Okay, so that passive income should not be more than 50% of the total income. Now let's see. If you see this question, no, we will not see the assets part is easy. But if you see the income part, no, from trading business you're getting 50 and 25. That is your primary business. From in your trading business you're doing what? Income from transactions where purchases are from associate enterprise and sales to unrelated party. You will not consider this. Purchases and sales both should be to your associate enterprise only. Income from transactions where sales are to associate enterprise but purchases from unrelated parties, this also you will not consider. Third one, if you see income from transactions where both purchases and sales are from or to associate enterprise, this you will consider for passive income. Okay, and then other one is interest and dividend. So 20 plus 15, 5 plus 10. So this will be your passive income and you will divide by the total income. Okay, now here if you see 20 plus 15, 5 plus 10. That is what I said, no? 20 plus 15, 5 plus 10. And you will divide that with total. Total is 110 crores. How 110? 25 plus 50, 20 plus 15. If you add this, it comes to 115. So what is your passive income? That divided by your total income, you should calculate the formula. Okay, rest all others know you, if you do, it will be easy. Second one, you should calculate by how many assets are there in India divided by total assets. You will get this total assets ka. And then the other one is total number of employees, same, how many number of employees are there in India divided by total number of employees. And then the fourth point is payroll expenses. Payroll expenses for Indian employees divided by total payroll expenses. So your fourth point also will be done. And how you are going to end after ABOI test, you have to see where the total number of what do you say, board meetings were held. Okay, here in this case 3 were held in India and 5 are held in Maldives. So what do you call, 5 out of 8 are held in Maldives, right? So majority of them are held in Maldives. So you have to see the 4 conditions, active business first, all these 4 conditions. Okay, and then the last point is you have to see where the POEM is. So in our case POEM is in Maldives only, outside India. So that's how you will conclude by saying this is a non-resident. So therefore Mischief Limited would be a non-resident. Understood? Once you do it for yourself, it will be very easy. Now last point, this is expected. Every CFNL student should know this. And let's go. Residential status of individual. Basic conditions by he must have stayed in India for at least 182 days during the previous year, or he should have stayed in India for at least 60 days in the previous year and 365 days or more during the 4 preceding financial years. Got it? Any one condition you should satisfy. If you satisfy any one of the condition, you will become a resident. If you don't satisfy any one condition, simply you will become a non-resident. Okay, now only first basic condition is applicable for these 3. First one is crew member of Indian ship. Only first basic condition. You will see only first basic condition. Indian citizen leaves India for employment basis. For him also you will see only first basic condition. Indian citizen or person of Indian origin comes to India for visit. Okay, for these 3 only first basic condition is applicable. Second basic condition is not applicable. Now after looking at the first basic condition, if they satisfy, they become resident, right? Now further you have to see whether that individual is a resident and ordinarily resident or resident but not ordinarily resident. Okay, these 2 conditions should satisfy to, if satisfy both additional conditions, he becomes resident and ordinarily resident. If he does not satisfy any, यहाँ पे बोल रहा हूँ and, so 2 conditions, you should satisfy both the condition. If you don't satisfy any of the condition, you will become resident but not ordinarily resident. Now what is the additional conditions? First one, he must be a resident in India for at least 2 years during 10 preceding financial years. He must stay in India for at least 730 days during 7 preceding financial years. Okay, so this one and here it is or. So with this we will conclude our residential status. I hope you guys liked it. Please do hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you all so much, and see you all guys in another video. Let's go.